and welcome to the third episode of Shit I Learnt in My Youth. In this episode, myself and Private Fifth, also known as George, discuss growing up. Well, at least that's what we intend to speak about. We ended up speaking about his Phase 1 army training and the experiences and hardships he dealt with training under the army. I hope you enjoy. Hi, and welcome to the third episode of Shit I Learnt in My Youth, and today we're going to be talking about growing up. I'm here with my best friend and worst enemy, George Frith.
Hi.
And as you know, I'm Angel. Hopefully you know that because you've been listening to my podcast for 3 episodes. And if you don't, that means I've not been doing my job. So as I said, today we're going to be talking about growing up. So first let's talk about just like how did we meet? Do you remember? Because we were like what, 11?
Yeah, through James.
Through 2 friends, and that was kind of it. You were a drummer and you played games, and I was really upset because my boyfriend at the time was mean to me, so I ran away from his house. And you sat with me and you're like, this is gonna sound cheesy, but
I don't remember.
the
what
clouds
I said.
clear before the rain, after the rain.
Some shit.
And
like
that's what
that.
you said, and I remember, and you went to go give me a hug, and I was like, no, I'm with someone.
So fucking.
No, so that's how we became friends. And then we didn't talk for a few years, just because
Yeah.
we got busy. You did acting shit.
I went and fucked off and
Did acting, and
did my normal shit of just stop talking to people again.
he's very good at doing that.
Yeah.
And I did the same thing, because I'm not very good at talking to people either. And then we came back a few years later, and we've been, like, best friends ever since. Like, I have a photo of us from the first time we met up from that break, and we look the fucking same. I'm just wearing, like, a jelly necklace with, like, pigtails, and you're wearing the same jumper you always wear. I love that photo so much. I don't know if you knew this. Whenever I'd meet up with George, I'd stay at my nan's house because he lives down the road from my nan. But anytime I'd like go to leave, my nan would be spraying me with like Chanel perfume, and she'd be like, "Oh, just in case," and I'm like, "No, nan, we're just friends." But like even now, whenever I bring you up, she's always like, "Ooh," I'm like, "No, never would that ever happen." But yeah, as I was saying, so we grew up. And where are we now? What are you doing now?
Hang on, I've got to think about that before I say something weird.
You can just say the weirdest thing. I don't mind.
I'm now a professional soldier.
Which,
Yeah.
which is pretty cool. I went to his pass out parade the other day. I nearly cried. So proud of you. I was like, oh, my friff and his little beret.
Barry's awesome.
Your beret is very cool. I don't know what the thing on it is, but it's
the cat badge.
Yeah, what is that?
That's the RAC Royal Armoured Corps cat badge.
What's a cat badge? What does it mean to like civilians?
So basically, you've got different branches of the army that you can join, and I've joined the Royal Armoured Corps for so this is the army like ground vehicles section of the army, and you've got like different corps you can join. You can join the engineers, and then you can join the air corps, or you could join logistics. So RIC is just the Royal Armoured Corps, so it's the vehicle vehicle part of the army. So and then in the RIC you've got different cat badges you can join. You can join basically the light armour, medium armour, or heavy armour.
Which one are you?
I'm joining heavy armour, so I'm joining RTR, which is the Royal Tank Regiment. So I get to work on Challenger 2s, which is why I joined.
So what made you want to join the army? Because I could never do anything like that, ever.
I wanted to join the army as a kid just because I loved playing with guns, and I was going to join the infantry. And then thought no. And then as I got older, I wanted to join the Air Force. And then found out, it's a lot of maths work that I wasn't really a fan of. And then sort of as I kept growing up, I got into tanks more. One day at work, I was like, I need to get out of here.
What were you doing before you joined the army?
I was basically doing kids' parties at a place and would clean it as well.
Mm-hmm.
So I would wake up in the morning miserable, go to work, be miserable, get home and be like, shit, I've got to do it all again in 6 hours. or some shit like that, and I was just like, I want to go and do something I actually enjoy.
And did you found that with the army? I remember when you came back on your breaks though, and we got Chinese, and I beat him at bowling. You weren't too.
I wasn't too happy with it, partly because I'd injured myself during training, so I was out of it for 4 weeks, and the first sort of 6-7 weeks are pretty tough, and we'd had a shit couple of exercises with weather, so it had broken me at the point where you go home. So it's a bit like I'd got home, got to see actually it isn't too bad, and then went back out in the mindset of I don't want to be here. And then we did some more stuff out there, and it all sort of picked up and got better.
Mm-hmm.
So it just I did a complete 180 from being like I don't want to be here to this is great. Don't get me wrong, there's still points where I'm like this is miserable, but that's life.
It is the army, like they're not gonna shower you with rainbows and stuff. But I just think it's very brave of you to do that, because as I said, knowing you growing up, you're always dancing and always acting and always doing very like performing art things. So for me as your friend, I remember when you told me you wanted to join the army, I was a bit like, oh,
You won't do it. Yeah.
no, I never thought you wouldn't do it ever, because I know you. I know that you're a driven person, and if you're gonna do something, you're gonna do it. You are. Look at you now. Like how many 6 weeks ago you wanted to leave, and you're still there, and you're actually excited about the next few chapters. So you are a driven person. You don't give yourself enough credit when it's something you want to do. So I just found it really strange from someone who did performing arts to, okay, so where's my gun? But I've always known you as someone who really enjoyed airsoft and stuff. So do you think that encouraged you into the environment?
On exercises, when we started doing stuff like fire and maneuver drills, I was in my element. I loved it. Didn't want it to stop, and then when we stopped doing fire and maneuver drills, or didn't do them as much, I was like, can we just get back to doing them, please?
But wouldn't that take a toll on your mental health, being fired at? Or
I don't get shot at with blanks.
Oh, okay. So what's when you're doing those drills? What's the breakdown of it?
What do you mean?
What do you do?
If you're not if there's not an instructor with a blank rifle on exercises shooting at you, your section commander or whoever's taking you would literally shout, contact front, contact right, contact left, contact rear, and you just do the drills because they'd be beating into you.
So what do those various things mean?
I'm not allowed to talk about that.
Oh,
I'm actually not.
Some censored stuff.
I've been told I'm not allowed to talk too much about the training.
Oh wow, that's quite. Oh.
Yeah, I'm not. I'm also not going in depth into the drills because it's a pain in the arse to explain.
So, what was something you thoroughly enjoyed about being in the army or training to be in it?
Ooh, being in sort of where you not in the barracks but in your lines. So when you'd go back to and you'd keep all your stuff and you'd sleep and stuff, being in there was great. Like being with everyone and in that kind of environment is incredibly fun because you're all bored all the time. And you're usually left alone to your own devices most of the time. So boredom and being left alone with a bunch of 20-somethings is incredible fun. A lot of it's sort of just messing with someone. So
I can believe that.
we locked a few people in the locker. Well, actually, one of our corporals locked someone in the locker on the last day. That was funny. When we got some cardboard boxes towards the end of our stay, and we were left alone to ourselves for most of the time. So people kept getting duct taped into boxes. I got into one willingly, which was a lot of fun, which started most of the thing. Just stupid shit, we'd throw stuff in people's beds when we didn't like them, and
what do you throw? Ketchup?
We kept getting sausage rolls because we kept getting horror bags for when we go out on trips, and they'd bring in twice the amount of sausage rolls we needed, so people would just leave sausage rolls in their beds, in the packets. No one ever took them out. That was just straight up evil. Someone put sugar in someone's bed once. That was.
Oh god.
Yeah.
That sounds itchy.
Yeah.
So, are you excited to be moving on to the second?
Yeah, because it's
phase of it?
actually stuff I'm looking forward to more now. It's actually stuff with tanks rather than just infantry shit.
Okay, so the beginning bit, the first phase was just from my understanding.
It's basic soldiering skills. So basic nav, basic tabbing, basic physio, that sort of shit.
And then the second phase is...
Second phase is what you specialise in. So me, I'll be doing an engineering course, a signals course, tracked vehicle licence, and crew skills.
So what's the third phase?
I don't have a third phase.
Oh, so you just have
No.
the two?
Engineers have a third phase, which I don't understand, but...
So in, like, after all your training, after these 30 weeks, what are you
after
doing
however
then?
long phase 2 takes, I will be sent off to my unit. Yeah, and then from there, who knows?
Oh, wow.
Go on exercises in Canada and Poland and all sorts of shit.
So it's a job that takes you around the world,
Yeah.
basically. And pays well, from what I've heard.
It's not bad.
Aren't you scared? I'm, like, scared for you.
Scared of what?
I don't know, like...
I'm joining a unit that won't be deployed unless there's an actual war.
Yeah, but, you know, if you're in the tank, you're, like, first shot, no?
What?
Because if you can, like, blow... From my understanding of the Call of Duty, if you can blow up the tank, you kill at least, like, 7 people in one go. And you're going to be in that tank.
World War II level stuff. I mean, like... Depends on what happens when the tanks hit. I mean, we've not... Challenger 2s haven't actually lost a tank in combat.
How many times have they been in combat?
They were in the Second Gulf War. One was never fully knocked out. There were ones that were disabled and all sorts of shit. There's one that was hit by 17 RPGs and was still fine.
Oh, so you're going to be alright.
Yeah, I'll be fine.
You're going to be like the casual army dude.
Yeah.
It's just so brave of you. I think it's so funny how we've both gone in such different angles of our lives. Like, I'm going to university and stuff, and you're going to be... I think we all knew that was always my goal.
What, go uni?
Yeah. But I just never expected you to do this. I always thought you'd be like extras in TV shows for like the rest of your life.
I mean, that's fun, but I don't want that as a career. Because that's more of the same in the army, sitting around a lot doing fuck all, getting paid for it.
At least you're getting like paid better money than you would as an extra, I assume.
Yeah, it depends. Depends on who the filming's for and what I'm doing.
So, was there any kind of like pinnacle moment growing up when you were like, this is what I'm doing? I know I want to do this and this is how I'm going to get there?
No. Never. Still not even now.
Just like...
I'm just kind of going with it.
That's fair, just casually strolling along.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just really... I think it's very brave of you to want to go into something like the army. Because I know I wouldn't be able to do it. My mental health would crack in like 2 days. And I'd be the one who'd be snivelling, going home like, I just wanted my mama.
Yeah.
Like, it would be a mess.
Yeah, you'd break. On exercise, I can see you breaking.
Either my knee would break or I would break mentally.
I think both would break.
That's true, actually. They'd need to like wheel me out. Like,
I want to see you tab.
What is a tab?
So tabs, basically when you've got your weapon on, body armor, weapon, and a backpack on with like a certain weight of gear, and you have to tab a couple miles.
I'm getting tired just talking about it.
At kind of a slight, not quite running, but not quite slow walk pace.
So walking?
It's like long stride walking. It's got. Sometimes it feels easier to run on a tab, but it would break. Like, I hate tabbing. It's just miserable. It's like when someone says it's impossible to hike and be in a bad mood. No, you can absolutely hike and be in a bad mood. You're just tabbing under the army.
You just spend most of your time in a bad mood, it sounds.
Tabbing is not a fun experience.
So what was the point that made you, if you're allowed to speak about this, what was the point that made you want to go home? And then what made you want to
I wasn't really enjoying... Well, I think because I've been injured and I wasn't doing a whole lot.
What was the injury?
I'd basically done something to a calf while running. And it just done something to my muscle. So I was on crutches for a little bit and just wasn't able to do anything. So I was sort of really miserable and wasn't enjoying it. I then got back and was like, oh, my life is so much easier. Then went back out, got tear gas Monday morning, and then went on exercise for a couple of days, and it was a miserable exercise with the rain and the mud. And the 4 mile insurgent tab, it broke so many of us. And it was that sort of... That week of shit was just enough to push me towards the edge, where I wrote a letter saying, I don't want to be here. But speaking to some of the commanders and some of the guys, they were like, they edged me on a little bit and they got me through it a little bit more. And I started to enjoy it more because training eased up and you were doing more fun things.
Would you say there was anyone or a particular group of people on the outside world who definitely like edged you along the whole way? Just because when I was sitting there watching who was the dude in the black? Some kind of VIP soldier guy.
Oh, the 1-star general.
Yeah, the 1-star general. What does that mean, by the way?
He's a 1-star general. He's a general.
Okay. Why does
So
he have 1 star and not 2?
Because he's
Is it
not
just how
got
it
that
works?
promoted far yet. Yeah.
Oh, oh, further to go in his career. But he was standing there and talking a lot about how his dad edged him on, and there were family, and the family of the soldier needs to be there for them more so than ever now, and all that stuff. And as you're like one of your best friends, I sat there like, oh, that sounds like a lot of work.
Yeah.
He made it sound very intense.
Yeah.
So I was wondering if, for you personally, does that connection actually help you? Like having your parents and your friends and Magic and everyone else around you being like, dude, just do it.
Yeah, it did help a little bit. But I'm not very open with my emotions, so only a couple people knew I wanted to quit.
Mm.
And it was a case of they were like, well, why? And I was like, because this is shit. And everyone just sort of went, okay. I said everyone, like a few people just went, okay, right. So what happens now? Then I'm like, well, I can either leave or stay. A few people were like, why do you want to leave? And talk me through it a little bit more.
I remember the conversation in your car and being like, if you do this, you're going to regret it.
Yeah.
So just finish it and then see how you feel.
Well, that was the other thing was it was like you have a couple weeks to make your mind up of whether you want to stay or not. Because when those weeks have passed, you're in for 4 years. So my mindset was, well, and I am miserable. I can come back. It's just a pain in the ass to get back in. Or if I stay in and it's miserable, I'm miserable for 4 years. So it's a bit like trying to weigh up my options. And eventually, when I went to do a phase 2 visit at Bovington, I was like, yeah, okay. Bovington training ground was a hell of a lot nicer and just seemed a lot more relaxed and more what I actually wanted to do rather than what I was doing at phase 1.
Mm.
But phase 1's like basic soldiering and is meant to be shit. Yeah, so I just sort of got to phase 2 and was like, yeah, okay, now I can actually see what the road ahead looks like rather than people just telling me, oh, it's shit or it's good, depending on the experience. I was like, okay, this might be a bit better now.
I think you've definitely, from a best friend perspective, I definitely think you've done the right thing for yourself, continuing going through it, because in the few months that between you being there and us going to Thorpe, before you going in there, us being at Thorpe Park and hanging out and stuff,
yeah,
and the person you are now, I've definitely seen a massive kind of growth in you, and it's like popped. You just seem really mature, like a lot more mature now.
It's funny,
you know
everyone sees an improvement in me, but me.
Yeah,
I don't see that I've changed.
Yeah, well, that's
I'm just physically fitter now. That's all I see.
You're too modest. You're just like, oh no, I'm the same as how I was before. No, but I definitely would say that, like, you've definitely matured as a person. I think you have a better prospect on your future, because I remember before, you didn't know, like, you didn't want to do anything, you didn't know what to do, and you were just, like, play games for hours,
yeah,
hidden in your little rut under your, like, blanket.
Yeah, because it was fun, and it was enjoyable, and I didn't have to think about anything.
It was a comfortable rut.
Yeah.
So with you definitely joining the army and now being a soldier and stuff, I can definitely see a massive growth in you that I think everyone around you is really like proud of and stuff.
Yeah. All right, enough about me. About you.
What about me? I'm the same pain
no,
in the
you're
arse
not.
I was.
No, you are not.
You're right, I'm not. I've changed a lot. I'm very mature now. I don't cry as much.
Sometimes I wonder though, but
for the most part, I'm more mature than I was, I think. And I'm generally more confident, and I'm not as, like, emo depressed.
And you don't make as many stupid decisions.
Yeah, let's not talk about those. But I think the thing that made me grow was my mum. Like, me and her have a really close relationship now, so I've grown a lot with her. And just being like, oh shit, so I can either go to university and build a career on that, or I can stay at Halfords and hate bikes for the rest of my life. And then I love my job as a Halfords, don't get me wrong. Love my boss, love everyone. They're peachy.
Halfords, if you're listening, she hates every minute of it. No, I don't.
I love every single second when I'm not wanting to kill myself.
How much of this can you edit out?
Oh, I can bring it down to 3 minutes. But no, I love my job at Halfords, but for me, I don't really see it as a career just because I don't think I have the. I don't know how to. I'm too nice. Like, if a customer comes in and they like bawl me out this story, I will do everything I can to help them achieve what they want. And it takes me about 10 minutes after to be like, hold the phone. I just got mugged off.
Yeah.
And I hate it when that happens, and it has happened twice. And every time I've just felt like, okay, fine. So it's made me kind of less trusting in people is the best way to explain it. But the whole kind of going to university, possibly moving, definitely moving, all that stuff is really scary.
It's pretty scary, isn't it?
I'm actually terrified. I don't know how you did it. Like, I'm going to a university where everything is plush and lovely, doing what I want, and I don't have to be up at 6 in the morning.
Yeah.
And you just went and was up 6 in the morning every day and did scary
There was
army
some
stuff.
kicking and screaming with the 6 in the morning.
I can imagine with you, yeah. I don't know. I just think growing up is a scary process, and you don't realize you've done it until you see other people who you knew at the age you were last time you saw them, and you're like, holy shit, how did I ever stand you as a person? And you're like, oh, because when I was that
Because I was
age,
that person when I was your age, yeah.
Yeah. I think also being around a group of young people, because my partner has siblings who are a lot younger, and I see Dina do things, and I'm like, whoa, no, don't do that. just don't do that. And I think that's what's kind of made me mature. I don't know, though. Like, I can't think of anything in me that's actually matured more than, like, I don't have as many breakdowns as I used to. And they weren't even breakdowns. They were just a lot of, woe is me. Look at how I am being treated. Woe is me.
You are less inclined to make stupid decisions.
Yeah.
That's the biggest change I've noticed in you.
Yeah, especially, like, in, like, the other day, like, in relationships, I'm not just like, if something goes bad and I'm not like, bye.
Yeah.
Fuck this shit. Bye. I'm actually, like, willing to sit down and discuss things, which I think is really it's a big change. I think I've matured a lot in the last 2 years, but I have no idea. So, as I said, we are best friends, and we have matching tats. How did that come about?
Cut.
How did that come about?
And that was your idea.
And that was, I messaged you on a spare of the moment and was like, hey, do you want to get this? And you were like...
I was craving a tattoo, so I was like, fuck it, yeah.
and then I didn't think we'd actually do it, and then I booked the person.
Yeah, then you went and booked it.
Because you told me to, and then I was sitting in the chair, and I was like, wait, is this actually... Oh, it's happened. Oh, it's here. Now I have a matching tattoo.
It was all your choice. I just made you do it.
It's not really matching. They're very different in their own way. But I love it.
Do you want to explain why they're different?
But okay, so I'm very in life, I think. But don't look at my bedroom when I say this. In life, I'm very minimalist. I'm quite like a chill person. So my tattoo is an outline of like a firefly from a game of The Last of Us, and it's got like gradual gradient color in. And George's is the same figure but bold, black, with like an orange outline to it. I think it best like describes our personalities and our friendship, though.
Also, where we've got it as well.
Oh yeah, they're completely different places. You have yours on your chest.
Yeah.
I have mine on my ankle. I jokingly said to my tattoo artist that like if you ever die in battle and I find a bit of that tattoo, I'll be like, yep, definitely dead because you got shot through the heart. I just like put it on some parchment paper and keep it.
You know. Grim. There won't be any part of me left. If I go down, there's going to be nothing of me left.
Don't say that. That's so scary. I can joke about it, but you can't say it seriously like that.
I'm a tanker. I'm going to die in my tank fighting till the bitter end.
I don't know that. Stop. You're not ever going to die. You're immortal.
I know that. Well aware of how immortal I am.
Not very.
Not very immortal, but incredibly hard to kill.
Maybe.
Well, I've been hit by enough cars to know I'm hard to kill.
How many cars is it now? Like 4?
3.
Oh.
3 and almost a bus.
And almost A bus?
Yeah.
I could have killed you the day you nearly lost my dog. Friff. I don't think I
Your
ever
dog wanted freedom, okay? I wasn't getting RKO'd by a tree for freedom.
So, for the viewers listening in their car or wherever you are, I have 2 dogs, 2 huskies. We only had one this time. Her name's April. She's lovely. She had this really long, super long lead. It was horrendously long. And
Why would you give me that?
because you said you wanted to hold her. So George was running with her, and then she went round a tree, and he just went whoosh and let go.
I was not being taken out by that tree on a dog. I was like, nope. If you want freedom, you can have it. I'm not dying for that.
And then he chased
I'm not dying
her.
to oppress your dog.
And then he chased her all the way round. All the way round.
It was like 200 meters round to a left corner.
And before your army days, that was a lot of running space.
That wasn't that bad.
It was.
You couldn't have done it. You couldn't have done 50 meters at that speed.
I can't even run 10. I'm all there like, oh, I'm tired. My knees hurt. My back hurts. I need to lie down.
So you just sort of went there and went, my dog's gone. Oh well.
Yeah, I was like, how am I going to tell my brother I lost his dog? Not I lost his dog. My best friend lost his dog. Like,
Yeah,
he
you
doesn't
would have
even
blamed
know.
me, and I would have been like, no, it's the lead's fault.
Wouldn't blamed you. I would have dragged you to hell with the death of a dog. I would have been like,
I didn't kill the dog. I just let it free.
She's still alive now, which is good.
Yeah, I know.
She's still around.
I know. I'm amazed.
She has a. I'm a good dog owner. She has a. She's not my dog anymore.
Yeah, I wonder why.
She's my mum's dog. But she's around. She's kicking. She's kicking around. So when you're at the army base and with your peoples, did you find that you all came from a similar background?
No. All different, like boarding schools, and actually quite a few people were from boarding schools. Everyone else was just sort of all over the place from different sort of backgrounds doing different shit.
How was that, like, mixing with people from, like, posh backgrounds and everything else? Because you're not, like...
Don't know if I'd say posh.
Oh. From boarding school backgrounds.
It was interesting because they were more used to it, so they could help out in different ways, and then you'd help them out in different ways because you'd have different shit, so you'd be used to certain sort of things, and they wouldn't, and it was just interesting because everyone had all sort of different base skills, so...
What would you say your base skill is?
Shooting.
Shooting?
Yeah.
How good are you at shooting?
Well, I was alright. I mean, so you do an annual ACMT with the army where you got to hit a certain amount of targets and a certain score. Out of 2 platoons, well, actually, no, I do it out of my platoon. So out of 11 platoons, 6 of us out of 21 passed on the practice without having to reshoot. 2 of which got marksman. I think I don't know what score I got out of most of them, but I know I was pretty close to marksman, as with the other 4.
What's a marksman?
So marksman's basically what you get. So marksman's basically assigned to you if you pass the ACMT first time hitting a certain amount of score, you're classed as a marksman for the rest of your military career.
Oh, so it's like it's like the highest graded dude in that.
It's basically a badge you wear that no one cares about.
I think
Once you get out of phase 1, no one cares about whether you got marksman or not in your ACMT.
I think they care about that.
They care about it, yeah.
A little bit
but
envious.
No one else really does.
Little bit envious, are we?
A little bit, but then again, everyone was like, yeah, well, when are you ever going to use it outside of the thing? The corporals were like, yeah, we got marksman and no one cares, so.
Fair enough. Very honest in the army. Don't fuck about.
There's no need to fanny about.
Fanny about? I haven't heard that in a while. No, I just think it's interesting because, like, we used to spend our, like, whenever I was with you, we'd spend our summers, like, shooting stuff, like cans and stuff with your air rifles. I was never good.
No. Because how often would you shoot a gun?
I would like to say every single Thursday, but never. I never shot a gun before I hung out with you. Tell a lie. 1. Wasn't good then either. So.
That's why it's a skill. You just pick it up as you do it more and more.
So did you find that your airsoft experience and, like, shooting a real gun, are they 2 similar experiences, or are they dramatically different?
Very different.
What's, like, the main differences?
The kick.
What's a kick? For those at home who don't know.
the recoil. So when you fire a real gun, it pushes back. When you fire an airsoft or paintball, there's no movement from it at all.
Did you like almost dislocate your shoulder?
No.
Like,
No, I'm firing 5.56 here. I'm not firing like a 12-gauge shotgun.
What is a 5.56?
5.56 is the caliber the LA5 shoots, which is the rifle the British Army use.
Oh, fair enough. So you're using like rifles, not shotguns, because
Yeah.
I guess this isn't like the 16th
Yeah.
century.
Yeah.
Pulling out your muskets quite
No.
gradually.
Using a proper rifle.
Were you surprised by anything at all during your whole experience?
How bad tear gas is.
How bad is tear gas?
Tear gas is horrific.
Is it like real tear gas?
Yeah, we actually got tear gassed. Yeah. They call it a confidence test.
Why is it called a confidence
So you
test?
know what it's like getting tear gas. So when you go into the gas chamber and do more CBRN drills, you're not surprised by what tear gas actually does to you.
What does it do to you?
Right, so tear gas basically it evaporates the liquids that it touches. So like your eyes will start to burn, your throat will go dry and start to burn, your nose will start running and burn, you'll struggle to breathe, and you can actually breathe through it, and there are people that are immune to it. If you're at a riot and tear gas comes, run. Just run. You do not want to be hit with tear gas. That's all I'm going to say. It really does incapacitate someone.
That sounds terrifying. That actually sounds...
And if you're being hit by tear gas, for the love of God, do not rub your eyes.
Why?
Because it will put you in an even worse state, because you're rubbing it into your eyes.
That sounds horrific.
Yeah.
The army doesn't sound like a fun place.
Nah.
Wow. Tear gas sounds really scary.
Yeah.
I think the scariest thing I did when you were in the army base was have a 12-hour nap.
Yeah.
That's how different our lives are. And almost handed in an assignment late. That was like...
Yeah, that was the scariest thing for you, yeah.
That's how scary my life gets.
Mm.
Yeah. That's about as scary as it gets.
Different levels of problems.
Yeah, definitely. You're also like...
Mine's the kind of problem where you're like... Yours is the kind of problem where I'd slap you and go man up.
I know you would. This is why I don't talk to you about my problems.
Exactly.
I need to talk to others who can sympathise.
Yeah, I have no
with my
sympathy for your problems because your problems are tiny.
Yeah, you're over there being tear gassed and I'm there crying because I've missed a word on a 2,000 word essay. Are you like excited for the future?
Yeah. I get to drive a 62-ton tank. Why would I not be?
You got a point. I think I'm nervous about my future. Just because
Why? Because you don't know where it is yet.
No, I think I have an idea. I know what I should be doing for the next 3 years if I get a distinction. Please give me a distinction. But after that, I don't know what's happening. So it's a scary thing. But you seem quite certain for the next few years.
I'm not certain of anything.
Yeah, you're just not one of those people, though, are you? You just kind of
roll with it. Just go wherever I'm going.
And I'm like screeching in the corner with a planner, like,
you're like, right, I've got to go here. Me, I'm just going that way.
I'm just going to go that way and see who pulls me along.
I'm going to go that way till something happens over there. And I'm going to go over there.
You're just like, I'll just see what happens.
I'm going to look that way. I'm going to go that way and look for trouble. That's my mindset.
That's what you do. So what is your advice for anyone who wants to get in the army, do the phases and all that stuff?
Phase 1's going to be shit. No matter what anyone tells you, it will be shit. And it will break you. And if you think you're physically fit enough, you're not. Keep ratcheting up the intensity. So, as you've heard today in our podcast, we generally just spoke about George being in the army and us kind of as people when we were kind of younger. Not really, just because that's not interesting. The interesting part is no, it's
George.
interesting. You just didn't want to talk about it.
Yeah, it does. So thank you to Frith for coming down today to the studio to record this with me. And thank you to Michael, my producer. And thank you to the audience for listening at home. I'll see you next week.